how about at CrowdStrike? You've got a lot of different visibility points out there. You want to give us an example of one where it's been a real mighty success in the implementation of zero trust architecture?
Sure, yeah. This story actually comes from a customer that reached out to us. And I'll set the stage. This customer had a lot of point solutions in their environment previously,
Hmm.
tools that were, supporting a very narrow use case. It was either around patch management or vulnerability management or things of that nature. And they said, look, we have way too many agents running on the endpoint. We can't get to our maturity of zero trust with point solutions, and we want to reduce the number of agents. We want to reduce some of our costs associated with those individual siloed tools and consolidate. And it was a welcome sort of lead in to us when we spoke to the customer. We said, okay, what do you want to prioritize? They said, one, tell me what my cost savings are going to be, because if I can save money, then I have resources now to go apply to other areas. So we worked with them to say, okay, here's the cost savings, and I'll share some of these numbers because they're pretty drastic. They went from spending roughly $4 million on these individual siloed point solutions to almost $1.2 million when they consolidated into our platform. And
Wow.
the luxury that we had, because we have a single sensor that performs all these wide gamut of functionalities, we can have
Hmm.
that same single sensor send the telemetry to a single console. So you get the convenience of having a single place to go look at these events, triage those events, actually act on those events. And previously, those customers were creating individual playbooks or having somebody look at a single screen for vulnerability management, another screen for IT management or asset management, and all those forces, all those individual consoles went away, all those individual agents went away, and the user experience is great. Like all of us have a workstation, right? We don't want to see more agents running and hogging up those resources. So that was one net benefit. From a security side, the biggest new thing that this customer received, because they used to run manual scans, and the specific example is, you might run a scan on a Thursday for vulnerabilities, and over the weekend you may have a major vulnerability that you didn't know about because your scanner wasn't running. By having a single agent, or a single sensor as we call it, that continuously monitors in real time all the vulnerabilities that you might be exposed to, and more importantly, it focuses on what the adversary is actively attacking, and it prioritizes the vulnerabilities and risks that are actually tailored to your environment. So instead of giving you a high score for all vulnerabilities or all risk in your environment, it'll tell you, hey, this is the specific vulnerability, the specific attacker that's going after it. And by the way, this is exploitable. So being able to tell these very concrete stories, I think, are super, super important. And the last comment I'll make on this one is something new that started over the past year with customers as they're going into the cloud. We did a great job of educating customers that, hey, not only do you need to have cloud security posture management capabilities, you need to also have runtime protection. So, Dave spoke earlier about the fact that you're spinning up all these cloud instances, having all these containers out there. Well, those containers need protection, just like your workstation at the endpoint. Let's
Amen.
monitor them in real time to see what adversaries are coming after. We did a good job of educating the customers around those. But the next step, and something new that started, is that they're actually outsourcing certain third-party open source patching functions to other vendors. And we love partnering with them because we want to be able to go to our customer and say, look, we've got you protected. So if you have a container that has a vulnerability for open source packages, we've got you protected. But it's still a good idea for you to go to these hardened containers, outsourced and run by another company, that reduces the attack surface altogether. So if you reduce all those vulnerabilities with an outsourced company that's giving you a hardened container, there's less alerts, there's less footprint for you to go after. And I love that part. And this customer is on this journey. They have the muscle memory. They're very aggressive about actually instituting good security practices. And I love this engagement.